Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Great. I know it's been a while that I've spoken to people. Hello, people. How are you all? How are you all? Okay, great. So nobody is listening. Okay, all right. No worries about it. That's all right. Wherever you're tuning from, wherever you're listening from, this is your favorite show on DC Live, where we care, we share, and we are on air. All right. Let me get to the show first. It's a Friday evening at 5:30, and it is your favorite show, Cornerstone Weaving Workplace, and that's what I am on today. That I'm going to talk about something very interesting, something very related in today's world is what we're going to talk about. And what are we going to talk about is something about being the tech leader today's world, right? So as I said, this is the Cornerstone Weaving Workplace on DC Live, where we care, we share, and we are on air. Friday, 5:30 p.m. We are here to understand how to be a tech leader in the era of AI, right? That's what I'm talking about today. And we all know that everyone is talking about artificial intelligence, right? And almost every leader's mind is running about artificial intelligence. I'm not going to talk about the algorithms, the code, the cloud, or hardware. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about us, meaning you. We are talking about what it actually takes to guide a team, a department, or a business when the tools we use are changing faster than our weekly calendars. Correct? So, what we spoke about tools yesterday is not relevant today, they're not new. There's a lot of noise out there. People are wondering if machines can handle the data, write the drafts, and spot the trends. What is left for the human leader to do? Well, as it turns out, quite a lot. We can do quite a lot. In fact, the human side of leadership just became the most critical asset any company can have, or has rather. Stay with us over the next 15-20 minutes. We're going to talk about the real tech leadership. How does it look like today? That's what I'm going to be talking about. Okay, let me start with the simple truth. In the past, what did it mean to be a great leader or a tech leader? It often meant that you were the smartest person in the room when it came to technical details. You had the answers. You knew the architecture inside out. Today, the software itself can answer technical questions in seconds. So the role of the leader is shifted. It's no longer about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions. Realign it this way. AI gives us speed. It gives us options. But what it cannot do or doesn't give us is the judgment. It doesn't understand context, company culture, or the personal lives of the people sitting at those desks. A strong leader today has three specific things differently, very distinctly, that they can do. First, they focus on clarity, not just speed. Just because a system can generate 10 different strategies in 30 seconds doesn't mean any of them are right for your team. Leaders need to step back, look at the big picture, and say, what is the direction that actually aligns with our goals? Identify that and say, hey, this is the direction that actually aligns with our goals. Second, a leader creates psychological safety. Whenever new tools roll out, people naturally get anxious. They worry about their roles, their skills, and their future. A good leader addresses that directly. They don't pretend the changes aren't happening. You don't say, hey, nothing is going to happen. No. You talk openly about how the team has to adapt together for the future and be open about what you know, what you don't know. That's the psychological safety a leader needs to give. Thirdly, stay curious, right? Staying curious is very, very important. And I always personally feel stay skeptical. That's very important. Do not believe or jump into anything just because the technology says. Stay skeptical and stay curious. The best tech managers right now are in technical, guides. They are active learners alongside their staff, the group and the team. Right. Now, let's pause on that second point that I had about, right? So psychological safety, which means fear of change. If your team is nervous about new systems taking over their daily work, telling them not to worry doesn't work. Correct? What works is showing them how these tools will free them up to do the thoughtful, creative work they actually enjoy. So that is what is very, very important. Correct? So that's important. That's very important. Now, so you all understood about how this works. Now let's quickly jump into something which is about human dynamics and team trust. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you about a short story. Let's say that there was this person Raj who gave us something. So Raj leads a mid-sized engineering team. He told us, he told me that after introducing a few automated workflow tools efficiently, everything was going fine, but the team communication completely stalled. People stopped talking in meetings. They stopped pitching ideas. They just let the systems process the work and logged off. How do you get that energy back into the team? That's a classic challenge of the modern workplace. There is tools for people to work remotely. There is Slack available. There are emails available. And there are automations that's happening. But does that get people together? May not be. When automation handles the day-to-day tasks, we run the risk of turning our workplaces into ghost towns where people just monitor the screens. So now, before I talk about how that's going to happen, I'm going to play you a song from a popular song. And the song is very popular from the movie called Indiran. Irumbile or Idayam, right? So that's what I wanted to play today. That's the song from Indiran by A.R. Rahman and Cash and Chrissy. And that song is about, why am I playing the song is because artificial intelligence, Irumbile or Idayam, right? So that the heart of everything is becoming the machines and the GPTs right now. It translates to a heart made of iron. And this song explores a robo trying to understand human feelings, empathy, and love. And that's what is artificial intelligence or natural language processing, whatever we talk about. It directly mirrors what I'm talking about. It's not about the core message is not about technology, might handle logic and code, but it's the human heart and the empathy. Can we play that song, Shakti? Irumbale or Idayam from Indiran, one of my favorite songs. Let's get to that song, please, people. Yeah, that's one. And it really means, I love the line where it says, it goes something to the effect of, Ennila Pallale unnoda siripin. So that's Bluetooth, right? Ennila Pallale, right? So Bluetooth. So that's something, some amazingly worded words. And it also says, one line goes like, Unnila Kannorum Minsaram Paripain, right? So beautifully worded song. So that's absolutely a great song. Wonderful. So now let's talk a bit more on this and try to decode the modern workplace challenges. So we spoke about being in different nodes and how do we get ourselves together. One thing is You fix it by rebuilding intentional touch points, right? So don't hold meetings just to share status updates, because you already have an automated dashboard that can do it. Use your meeting time to brainstorm, solve messy problems, or just check in how people are doing. That's the rebuild intentional touch point as a leader. Value judgment over output. In an AI era, producing a draft or a piece of code is just simple and quick. Evaluating whether the draft is good, fair, and helpful to the client, helpful to the team, that takes the human experience. And we all talk about RLHF, reinforced learning with human feedback. And that's the leader for the team. You are that person who drives the human component to the team. You should be bringing that. Celebrate the team members who exercise good judgment, not only the outputs, but also how good are the team player. Get that human component and ensure the team gets the human component. Okay. Lastly, encourage experimentation without penalty. Let your people play with new tools, give them the room to test things out, make mistakes. It's okay, give them a safe environment, and share what they learned with everyone else. Leadership isn't about sitting in a tower looking at productivity charts, the dashboard. It's about walking the floor. Even if that floor is your Google Meet or a Zoom grid, sit with people, talk to people. Making sure your people feel supported, heard, and valued is the first thing of a leader. That does not change. Believe me when I say that artificial intelligence can run this, with a lot of tasks, but it is the human which will lead it, and there's no doubt about it. All right. Always say this: be the Dr. Vasigaran who runs it, not the chitty. Correct. I always say that. Now, let me just move on. We like to keep things this way, emotional and all of that's right. But I like keeping things practical, right? So it's great to talk about ideas, but what can you actually do when you walk into the office on Monday morning? Here's a simple 3-step framework that I'm going to give you that you can start using right away. Listen before you implement. Before bringing a new tool or a system to your department, sit down with people who will actually use it every day, day in and out. Ask them, what is the most frustrating part of your work day? Focus technology on removing those obstacles, those headaches, not adding extra steps because you have a technology. That is not going to be helpful. What does it mean? Okay, you have a beautiful dashboard, but for the dashboard you need to key in data for about additionally for 1 more hour. What's the beauty about it? You're not reducing, you're increasing the workload. That's not going to work, and that's not how it works. Listen to your people who is doing things. Listen before you implement something. Be transparent about decision making. When you use automated insights or data to make big decisions, like shifting a project timeline or reallocating resources, explain the reason behind it, the why behind it. Show your team that data informs your decisions, but human values drive them. And at the end of the day, whatever your tool is built for is used by another human outside somewhere else. That's very important. Invest in human skills. Technical skills will always continue to evolve fast. What was new 6 months ago is not new anymore, right? So it will evolve fast. But communication, conflict resolution, active listening, critical thinking, those skills don't expire. Make sure you train your people on all of these things. Coach them. Help them build the most durable human qualities. If you can do these 3 things, it's not about you're just managing a technology. You will be building a resilient team that can handle whatever new tool comes along in the next month, in another 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, or maybe 5 years from now. You're getting ready for yourself. And that's what I talk about. And that's what I always recommend as well, that what you should be doing. Wonderful. Perfect. So quick 3 things. Always listen to people of what your technology solves. Be transparent of why you're trying, what you're driving and what you're trying to do. And always you invest in human skills. At the end of the day, AI is also driven by humans. At the end of the day, that's what it wants. If you tell, you all, have you always seen this when when you're chatting in the chat text box of a GPT or any of the tool, there's a thumbs up or there's a thumbs down, meaning it wants your input, and that is the human it wants. AI is working for humans. Realize that. At the end of the day, AI is working for humans. That's very, very important. Okay. All right. With so much of, one thought that I want to leave you with is artificial intelligence is something that you will work along with. It is not, don't make it superior than you, but then it is something that is going to work with you in tandem with what you need. Okay. Let me ask you this. What is artificial intelligence in Tamil? Anybody? Or in Kannada? Anybody, people? செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு is right. Anybody who speaks Kannada? Anybody? Right. All right. Krutaka Buddhimate. That is what it is. Okay. Artificial intelligence is Kritaka Buddhimate. That is what is artificial intelligence in Kannada. Wonderful. All right, people. So with this, I am at the end of another episode of Cornerstone Weaving Workplace at, on Friday. As I wrap up today's show, let me leave you with this one final thought. Any technology, including artificial intelligence, is a tool. Just because a car has everything, right? End of the day, it is used for transporting humans. That's the simplest point. It could be the highest, it could be driven at the highest speed, it could drive on its own. It could be something that is completely automated, autonomous, but it is simply a tool, a vehicle. It cannot care about something that happens in humans' life, right? It cannot care about your project success. It cannot celebrate a victory with a colleague like what you do. It cannot offer a supportive word when someone is struggling with a tough week. That is your job. That is what leadership lives with. Being a great tech leader today doesn't require you to be a machine advocate or just a whisperer of a machine. It requires you to be exceptionally, intentionally human. Lead with empathy, keep your communication honest, and give your people the space to do what humans do the best. What do humans do the best? They think, they feel, they create, they collaborate. These are the 4 things humans are the best at. Leave the humans to do that. Think, feel, create, and collaborate. And thank you all for spending your part of your Friday evening with me here on Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. We hope this was a very insightful kickoff for your weekend with a bit of a little clarity and confidence with a human dynamics to it. Join me again next Friday at 5:30 p.m. as we continue to explore the heartbeat of the modern office. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of your teams, and remember, on DC Live, we care, we share, and we are on air. Have a wonderful weekend. This is Rudra signing off. Thank you so much. And I'll let Shakti play one of his favorite numbers for the end of the show, which he thinks is in his right mood at this point of time. All right, over to you, Shakti. Thank you so much for having me here. Thanks.